Let's make a choice. 2 pills, one red and one blue. If you take the blue pill, nothing will change. If you take the red pill, you'll see that the world is actually a virtual one. That's right. This is the plot of The Matrix, but the idea that we live in a virtual world might actually be true. Living in a virtual world is what scientists call the simulation hypothesis. Everything you see, feel, and experience might all be part of an incredibly advanced, high-tech computer system. From your heart racing when you meet the love of your life, to that luxury car you've always dreamed of. If none of this is real, if this theory is correct, how does it actually work? If we really are living in a virtual world, there are 2 possibilities. The first is that the simulated world is run by a central controller, a master operator who manipulates everything we experience, just like a game master. Think of it like a video game where we're characters in something like The Sims. There are players controlling your world. The player chooses your job, decides when you need to go to the bathroom, and might even set your kitchen on fire just for fun. These players could be super intelligent beings. They created a simulated world to observe how human history would unfold. They might be testing different periods of time. They start from different points just to see how various individuals develop randomly, and how we and other creatures on Earth respond to different challenges. For example, they tried letting dinosaurs deal with a massive meteor impact on Earth. In the end, the dinosaurs didn't make it. Everything they did was just to test humanity's problem-solving abilities. Maybe this explains why they didn't put us in a 100% happy and perfect virtual world. But who are they? Who is controlling our simulated world? It could be some kind of consciousness, something beyond our understanding. Could also be aliens. If some galaxy has mastered the method of creating high-fidelity simulated worlds, they could create billions of virtual civilizations. Each virtual civilization might contain trillions of lives, and all they would need is more powerful computers. In fact, this might also explain why, even though there could be multiple other civilizations in the galaxy, but we've never made contact with any aliens. If we're living in a simulated world controlled by cosmic beings, unless they want us to, we wouldn't be able to see or contact them. Our great creator could also be a super advanced artificial intelligence, like a GPT with an extreme need for control. This brings us to the second type of virtual world we might be trapped in. Simulated worlds without a controller. These simulated worlds have no player in charge, just like stories generated by artificial intelligence. Or maybe the creator has already left, but the simulated world can run on its own. Take the Star Wars galaxy as an example. This game, based on the famous series, was released in 2003 and is an open-world multiplayer game. This means you can freely explore a huge interactive map without being forced to follow a strict path. But its servers were shut down in 2011, though that wasn't the end for it. Some devoted fans still play the game on private servers. The problem is the developers have stopped updating it. And with no one paying attention to what the players are doing, more glitches and situations outside the original design of the game start to appear, but the game still keeps running. Now, let's apply the situation of Star Wars galaxies to our own reality. In the theory of an unsupervised simulated world, the universe is a mess, and humans are just a glitch. Our consciousness and existence might simply be the result of a technical accident. So we might just be an error in the code, like an anomaly trapped in a simulated world with no players. It's running automatically, but this could lead to an end-of-the-world scenario. If the simulated world is overwhelmed by too many glitches, it could eventually crash, because the more we understand, the worse things get. The evolution of our culture and intelligence might trigger a game over or a frozen screen. Because no matter who is controlling the simulated world, they wouldn't want us to figure out the truth. They could reset the system or eliminate the source of the glitches, which might be humanity itself. It's a bit like what happened with Final Fantasy XIV. The game was first released in 2010, and players encountered all sorts of bugs and technical issues. Soon after, the game was shut down, and the developers decided to rebuild it. Then they released a new and improved version called A Realm Reborn. It's very possible that rebirth is exactly the fate that awaits us as well. Years from now, we might be able to create an artificial intelligence capable of running a simulation of all humanity. It would use data from internet archives, DNA samples, photos, videos, and so on, which means every person who has ever lived on Earth could be recreated in a virtual world. Some experts believe that it is indeed possible that we are living in a simulated world. There are several ways we might be able to crack this simulation. The first method starts by exploring this fantasy and looking for its rules or flaws. Pay attention to strange patterns or déjà vu-like situations. These could point to its hidden structure. The second way to crack it is to overload the system with massive amounts of data, which could eventually cause errors. The third method is to break through the limits of the simulated world and make everyone aware that this world is a simulation. This could cause the entire system to collapse. The idea that we live in a virtual world is certainly fascinating. But could this really be true? Let's analyze it from a mathematical perspective. Some scientists believe there's a 50% chance that Earth is a simulated world. But the actual probability might be much higher, because there could be an infinite number of virtual worlds. And in each virtual world, there are simulated people who go on to create even more virtual worlds. So mathematically speaking, the chance that you find yourself in the one and only real physical world is almost zero. Although it's hard to prove this, some experts believe the evidence is everywhere. Could be as simple as that feeling of déjà vu. You've definitely experienced that strange sensation. When you feel like you've gone through something before, even though it's happening for the first time, that might actually be a glitch in the virtual reality. Or it could be a temporary glitch. Another possible piece of evidence is the so-called Mandela effect, which refers to a large group of people having memories of something that differ from what actually happened, like a kind of shared false memory. For example, many people remember the iconic line from Star Wars as Luke, "I am your father," but in reality, what Darth Vader actually says is, "No, I am your father." For some people, that's enough to prove that we're part of a simulated world. Even though we haven't found that red pill yet, we now know there's hope of cracking this code.